It's the Mike Francesa Podcast on the BetRivers Network.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa Podcast on the BetRivers Network, brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos Tequila is brought to you by those who drink it. All right, Game 5 in the books, and hey, it was a lot easier than we all thought it would be, considering what went on in Games 3 and 4, and a shockingly bad performance tonight by Indiana, a tremendous performance by the Knicks, by Tibbs, by Brunson, who showed up. We talked about that. You know, I want to give Tibbs credit now, not just because he did some of the things I wanted when on the podcast that I did this morning. I wanted to go to the small lineup. I said I wanted to take Achua and put him on the bench and put either one of the guards in. He decided he wanted Burks off the bench for scoring, and Burks, as he learned, as I mentioned in Games 3 and 4, he learned that Burks can play in the series. And he is in the rotation, and he has been a factor, and he was a factor again tonight. As a matter of fact, 1 point, when they cut it to 12, he made a very big three in the corner that kind of quelled that run that they made, and he played very, very well. He shot the ball well. He plays confidently. He's a professional. He had sat out for a very long time, and you got to be very, very happy with what he did tonight. But he went to the small lineup. He put McBride in, which gave them ball pressure, gave them intensity on defense, gave them more speed, and gave them offense. So it was the right move. The other thing was, I said, I'm not worried about Siakam's points. I am worried about Halliburton's drives and Halliburton's performance, and Halliburton didn't show up tonight. Now, he didn't show up in Game 1, and he took the blame. I don't know if he's going to take the blame tonight, but I don't care if he takes the blame tonight. What is he doing? You can't be a player of this magnitude and have games in the playoffs where you don't show up. He did not show up tonight. He did not try to score tonight. He took 9 shots. He took a couple of threes, and he sat on the bench for a lot of this game. I don't know if he's hurting. I don't know what the deal is, but they needed Halliburton to be aggressive, just like the Knicks tonight knew at home. Now, the Knicks, we know how to win this game tonight. You can make a case that Indiana didn't have to win this game. They have to win a game. But why would you just hand a game away when you only have 2 chances and you have to win one of them? Yes, they'll be far better in Indiana. They'll be far more aggressive. They'll be excited. Their crowd will be excited. They'll play much better. They are a different team at home. They're a Jekyll and Hyde team. They will be tough to beat. I believe we'll be back in the Garden for Game 7. But I think the Knicks, who just have an incredible reservoir of heart and will and toughness, will just out-tough them in the 7th game when they have to. I do think there'll be a 7th game, I admit it. But I do think the Knicks will win the 7th game. And they'll win it because their star will show up, just like he did tonight. Brunson had a great game. I told you today I thought Brunson had to put up 35 points. He put up 44. Okay, the one thing that didn't happen tonight was Dante never got going. And I would have liked to see him get going because he's an emotional player and he's a streaky player. And I just would have liked to see him. Now, he was in some crazy confrontations tonight. He had 5 fouls. He was in the confrontation with Turner. He was jawing with people. I understand he wanted them to cool his heels a little bit, but I would have liked to seen him get going from 3 at least to – now I'm going to be about him getting going because he's had 2 games in a row now where he has not scored from the perimeter, and he needs to score from 3. That is who he is. Yes, he'll have drives to the basket. Yes, he gets off the floor, but his game is about three-point shooting. Explosive, rhythmic three-point shooting is who he is. Tonight he was 0 for 6 from 3, and you could see it frustrated him. It does frustrate him. That's who he is. So I would have liked to seen that. But some of the stuff tonight, I'm going to tell you right now, if I were coaching Indiana, they'd be walking home. Their effort tonight was a disgrace. On defense, it was a disgrace. Carlisle called one timeout, and then it called another timeout because what happened was McBride got past Halliburton, and Turner didn't even try to go after him. The big didn't even try to block the shot in the lane, didn't even go after him, let him go right by him. Their defense, their lackadaisical defense, their lack of toughness tonight, their lack of intensity tonight was embarrassing. The Knicks wanted it so much more. Brunson wanted it so much more than Indiana did. You can't tell me Indiana wanted that game tonight. They got out-rebounded 53-29 in a Game 5 of a conference, of a championship playoff series. A second-round playoff series in Game 5. After winning Games 3 and 4, they got out-rebounded by 23 rebounds. They got beat 20-5 on the board, and they have no size. The opposing team has no size, and they out-rebounded them 20-5. How about the rebound when Hart took the shot and beat everybody to the basket for the rebound and laid it in? I would show that play to Indiana until it broke. I would take 4 or 5 cut-ups of their lackadaisical, gutless play tonight, and I would show it to them play after play after play. How about Hart going up and doing that? How about some of the offensive rebounds Hartenstein got? The Knicks wanted it so much more. I mean, they're playing a little lineup, and they're killing them on the backboards. And in the playoffs, you want one stat that stands out? A lot of people think it's three-point shooting. It's rebounding. You win the boards, you win the game. They didn't win the boards tonight. They destroyed them on the boards tonight. Indiana made more threes. They made the same number, but Indiana took a lot less shots. Indiana shot 44% from three. The Knicks shot 35%. But the Knicks took 30 more shots than the Pacers did. 30 more shots. You can't give the other team 30 more shots. How do they get 30 more shots? 2 ways. You turn the ball over, and they turn the ball over. They don't turn the ball over as a team. They turn the ball over 18 times tonight. They were throwing the ball out of bounds. They played this game like it was an exhibition game. If I had anything to do with Indiana, I would be crazy the way they played tonight. Now, knowing that, when we finish giving the Knicks their pats on the back, when we finish giving them and let them take their bows for tonight's performance, understand that Indiana is going to come to play in Game 6. They are going to come to play. They're going to bring intensity. They are going to bring effort. They are going to bring everything they did not bring tonight. Don't think it's not going to be there. It's going to be there because they are going to get the heck beat out of them for the next 2 days, and they should. There's an extra day here. Is that going to help the Knicks? Yes. It's not going to get OG back. He's not going to play in this series. Even the Knicks are talking about next series for him. They don't want to talk about the next series yet, but they're saying that's when you could expect him back. Let's hope there is another series, and I think there will be against the Celtics, because I think the Knicks will win this in 7 games, but I think it's going to go 7 games. But tonight, the lack of effort, 53-29 on the backboards, 20-5 offensive rebounds, 18 turnovers to 9. I talked to you about how they had to shut down dribble penetration. For the most part, they did. They didn't completely, but for the most part, they did. In the second half, Indiana was scoreless for 7 minutes. They just never showed up. There's nothing good to say about Indiana today. They kept the bench under control. They got a good lift from Burks on their bench. McBride gave them a very good game in the starting lineup, 17 points. He plugged McBride in, he played 40 minutes. Brunson had an incredible game tonight. He wore them all out. You can see he absolutely kills Nembhard. He kills him. He's had trouble scoring against Nesmith. He's had trouble against McConnell. He has killed Nembhard. But tonight, it was him. 44 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and he could have scored more if he had to. 18 of 35 from the floor. Hart gave you his game. McBride gave you a great game. Hartenstein gave you an incredible game. 7 points and 17 rebounds. 12 offensive rebounds. 12 offensive rebounds. Ashamed of themselves. So, kudos to the Knicks. Kudos to Brunson and to Hart and to McBride and to Hartenstein and to Burks. It's going to get harder before it gets easier, and then there's going to be Game 7. Was this surprisingly easy tonight? Yes. Like I said, if I'm coaching in Indiana, they're walking home. And they are going to watch the worst cut-ups they ever saw in their lives over and over and over again. The lack of effort in a Game 5 of a playoff series. And listen, nobody can dispute the talent that Halliburton has offensively. It's there. But this was a rotten performance tonight. And he had given you 3 big ones in a row. Big ones. And I think he'll give you a big one in Game 6. But this was a rotten performance tonight. When it's only a best of 3 and you got to win 2, how do you squander a game the way Indiana did tonight? But you know what? I know as a Knicks fan, you don't care about that. What you care about is what you got tonight. And now you'll be confident that the Knicks can win this series in 7 because of who they are and how they go about things. Game 7's got to be tougher than tonight because it can't be easier. This was a joke tonight. It really was. This was just a putrid performance by Indiana and a terrific performance by the Knicks. They have the extra day. Not going to hurt them. They're not going to get OG back. But they'll get Brunson some rest. They'll get Hart and all their guys who have been getting worn out in this series. They will get some rest. You got to be amazed how Tibbs can call on these guys and they perform the way they do. That he can call on McBride, put him in the lineup, and he can perform like that. Or you can call on Burks, who basically had been completely ignored. And he goes out there and plays the way he's played. Tonight, 6 for 11, 5 for 8 from 3. 5 rebounds, 18 in 20 minutes, 18 points and 5 rebounds. He doesn't mind mixing it up. He plays cool, calm, and collected. He's a pro. He's a pro. And Hartenstein has made himself a bundle of money. There's a lot of Knicks that made themselves money with their play, but Hartenstein has made himself a bundle of money. So, Game 6, Friday night. It won't be easy. Do I think we'll have a Game 7? I do. If the Knicks go about their business, if they shoot the ball well, if they get a great game from Brunson, they can be in that game in the fourth quarter in Game 6 and have a chance to win it. Like I said, I don't think they will. I think they'll be back in the Garden for a Game 7, which I think they will win. But this was a continuation of everything they've done this year in terms of effort, in terms of commitment, in terms of cohesion, in terms of toughness, in terms of heart and will, and in terms of Brunson just being machine-like in his offensive play. He got it going early tonight, and it just kept going and going and going. 44 points. A wonderful, wonderful performance. Not exactly the game I thought tonight. I mean, I thought the Knicks would win tonight, but I thought they'd have to work a lot harder than they had to. That's fine. But don't count Indiana out just because of that. Because they're just a weird team. Not long on guts, but long on offensive talent, and they play well in their building. Remember, Game 4 was ugly. And the Knicks haven't won there. And nobody's won. And a lot of times, historically, when a series goes 5 games and it's home court, home court, home court, home court, home court, it usually stays home court. If you're the Knicks, you're looking for a shot. You're looking for a shot to break through. You got a free game to do it. You're looking for a shot that you don't have to play a 7th game. Hopefully you find a way to do that. Indiana needs to look in the mirror, and Halliburton needs to do a whole lot of soul searching, because in Game 5, he sure didn't show up while his counterpart showed up in a very big way. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Francesa Podcast on the BetRivers Network.